everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, cannot gatekeep. Y'all already know I refuse to gatekeep. I will not gatekeep on the best community on these internet streets. And listen, if you want to be a part of our tribe, this is all you got to do. You go down in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too, so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight that nemesis of mine, that beast, that algorithm. I'm telling you, I am dragging it. I am. And it's all because of y'all. Also, I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to all of the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Listen, y'all are doing a bang up job. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, look over in the corner. That's our join button. That's the channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I'll be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, listen, look over in the other corner. I think it's right under your screen if you're on a computer. And if you decide to donate to the channel, all donations will be always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some super thanks and we do have some shout outs. And first up is 08065. Let me tell you, have been with me for a minute and is always supporting, always coming through, always in the comments, ride or die, ride or die. I am so lucky to have 08065 as a part of this community. So thank you, 08065 for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And next up is Annette Sweat. Annette, what can I say about Annette that I hadn't said before? She is a ride or die. She has been with me since the beginning and she never ever wavers in her support. I am so lucky to have her, so thankful to have her, and so absolutely over the moon that she saw something in this channel and has decided to support it. So thank you, Annette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Eulette came through. Yes, she did. Eulette is so faithful. She's so wonderful. She is so kind and she is so supportive. And I am so thankful that she is a part of this community. So thank you, Eulette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being you. Thank you for coming through and thank you for being here. And Kevin Slims is a ride or die, always coming through. I mean, Kevin is in the comments. Kevin is always down for the read, and I am so lucky to have him. So thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Beverly Jackson, 3010. Yes, she did come through. She did. She is everything. And she is so supportive. I mean, always dropping that knowledge in those comments and just being a ride or die. I am so lucky to have Beverly. So thank you, Beverly. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Tiger Mommy, I love Tiger Mommy. Tiger Mommy is just everything. Always in the comments, ride or die. I mean, down with the read, anytime, any place. And she is so special. So thank you, Tiger Mommy. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Patricia Smith, yes, she came through too. And Patricia is everything. She is the most wonderful support. She is always coming through, always in those comments, always there supporting. And I am so lucky to have a ride or die like Patricia. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Patricia. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Hilda T, yes, Hilda T came on through. Yes, she did. And like I said about all the rest before her, she is a ride or die, ride or die. She is a staunch supporter of the read. I mean, she don't be in the comments all the time, but she is always there. She is a presence in this community, and I am so grateful and so thankful that she is a part of this community and she chose us. So thank you, Hilda T. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all, I'm gonna play this and we'll talk on the other side. All right, y'all. I want to give another quick shout out to 08065, Annette Sweat, Eulette, Kevin Slims, Beverly Jackson 3010, Tiger Mommy, Patricia Smith, and Hilda T. Yes, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you for coming through. Thank y'all for being a part of this community. Thank you for being here. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets. And let me tell you, I have been on these internet streets. Now, is it a lot going on? No, it's not a lot going on, but it's some stuff that's very, very interesting that's going on. And we're going to talk about it. First, we're going to talk about Meghan's first post of 2026. Yes, she posted on As Ever Instagram page. And Meghan is just showing how totally and completely she is unbothered and at peace. I know it is some derangers pulling out the strands of hair that they have left because 2025 almost took these hags out. Yes, it did. And they pulled every strand except a few out. And I know this post absolutely, I mean, it had to really take out those few. It really had to take out those few strands that they had left. I'm telling you, because it shows a happy and at peace Meghan. And I just love this. Just showing her property, showing her flowers, showing her life, and showing that she could care less about all the nastiness that they are spewing. All the hags, most of them ugly inside and out. And they feel the need to critique Meghan at the end of the year. How she's doing. I mean, if she's had a successful year, but yet and still ignoring everything that has been going on over there across the pond with those left behinds. But I tell you what, while Meghan is at peace, the squatties are absolutely doing God's work and coming for every neck that has the nerve to stick it out and try to talk about Meghan. It is delicious, and we're going to talk about some of that. And there's some stuff that's been going on over there at Willie and Kitty's new house. We're going to talk about that. Squatties don't believe none of it. None of it. And people are starting to write about how much Willie and Charles hates one another. Yes, and how much Willie is so far against Beatrice and Eugenie. But none of this is new to Squatties. None of this is new to readers because we have discussed it on this very podcast for months. For months, we have been saying this. So it's a lot of stuff. We got some other stuff we're going to talk about too. Yeah, we ain't going to keep you long, but I promise you we going to keep you entertained. And we're going to start with this one right here. And this right here is Meghan's first post of 2026. And let me tell you, Meghan is showing all her haters that she is so unbothered. Meghan is unbothered and over in Montecito minding her business. I'm telling you, look at this bottom one over here with her having tea and has her flowers on the table. I mean, that is quintessential Meghan minding her business. I love it. This particular squatter that posted this said, Meghan Sussex, the Duchess of Sussex, has entered the room. Her first Instagram post up for 2026, guys. Love this. Can't wait to see what Harry and Meghan has in store for this year. Yes, because 2025 was chef's kiss. It really was. When Meghan ran out there and wrote that in the sand 2025, she meant every word of it. And she never let her foot off her haters' necks. And I'm telling you, the squad, we loved it. But yes, as you can see, Meghan is chill. She's unbothered. She is enjoying her property, her life, her man, her children, her beautiful home, and her business. Yes, she is minding her business. I love this post. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I just love it. To me, this is Meghan to her haters, just pretty much telling them, I win. You lose, I win. I get to live my best life, and you can't do anything about it. All you are doing is hating from outside of the club. Yes, yes, yes. I love this. I do. And I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squatty kind of posted some of the highlights of 2025. And this right here does not even scratch the surface of all the things that Harry and Meghan accomplished and did in 2025. It was a jam-packed year, a very successful year. And I just I cannot get over it. Looking back and seeing how far Harry and Meghan has come, you get kind of emotional. You really do. I mean, all the stuff that they did in 2025, it is amazing. It really is. I cannot wait for 2026, y'all. I believe we're going to get some more overseas trips. It is going to be great. I cannot. Being a squatty is so much fun. It really is. Now, you have to throw some sharp elbows, and sometimes you have to throw some hands when it comes to those old hag dragons and those smelly skanks, the rangers, toadies, trolls, and those flying monkeys over there. But I don't know if that's something that we would call a negative, because I kind of enjoy it. Yes, I do. I enjoy putting my foot up their butts every chance I get, because they're so disgusting. They're such liars, and they're so deserving. So I don't really count that as a negative. But yes, I digress. I am looking so forward to 2026 when it comes to Harry and Meghan. I am. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But this squatty said 2025. What a year. And this, like I said, what they put together, this collage, is just scratching the surface of what this extraordinary couple was able to achieve this year. And I'm going to put this up because this particular squatty is writing about Meghan's success and how all of these flying monkeys at the end of the year always try to set the narrative that everything that Meghan has done within the year is a flop, that somehow she's mediocre. This is the lie in which they tell with reckless abandonment. They have no shame. And this particular squatty is writing about Meghan's success, and they say what's fascinating to me is that whenever royal reporters and commentators write these long-winded articles about what a complete failure Meghan is, they always seem to leave out the facts. For example, Meghan's latest Netflix series ranked in the top 10 in 26 countries. And I just want to remind you that with Love Meghan, the holiday celebration came out on December the 3rd. And we're almost at January the 3rd, a month later, and she is still in the top 10 globally. So where has any of those left behinds ever came close to anything that Meghan has done? And all I can say about this is this. If Meghan is a flop, if Meghan is a failure, if she is mediocre, when you compare her to all of those left behinds over there, what in the world are they? I mean, even mediocre and subpar cannot describe what they are compared to Meghan, because Meghan is a freaking rock star in comparison to those people over there. They cannot even get in the top 50 most of the time. And some of them don't even rank at all. Charles's projects, what he had on the streaming services, came and went, as did Willie's. Kate, the horse, they all had shows and documentaries on those channels over there in their own country, and they couldn't even make the top 10. But somehow Meghan, who makes the top 10 globally on Netflix in 24 countries, I think when it first came out, it was like 40 countries she was in the top 10. But somehow she's the failure. Not Charles, not Willie, not Kitty, not the horse. I mean, who consistently hadn't been able to break in the top 10 or the top 20 or the top 30 or the top 40 in some cases. But yet and still, Meghan, who is consistently charts in the top 10, she's the failure. Make that one make sense. I'm just saying. It goes on to say Meghan's latest Netflix series ranked in the top 10 in 26 countries, including Canada. Patricia conveniently failed to mention this. Also, what scandalous catastrophe did Meghan have this year that somehow made her more disappointing than a man who was knowingly friends to a pedo for many years? Exactly. Exactly. But this is all contrived. This is all made up. They do it every end of the year. Meghan has this banger of a year, and they just cannot let that ride. They cannot allow that to be in the history books, at least not without a asterisk. So their asterisk to Meghan's bang up year is that somehow all these accomplishments that she makes all through the year are failures. This is what these people do, but they never ever look at those left behinds. If you really want to clock some failures, look to Charles, look to his horse, look to Willie and Kitty. Now, those are the failures. Those are the mediocres that haven't done anything that you can say is a success this year, and the year before that, and the year before that. They have always been copying and pasting and trying to keep up with Harry and Meghan. That's all they have done. So miss me, Patricia Treble, because Patricia Treble wrote this article. This is what this particular squatty is talking about. And she is a Canadian colonist. And I have also saw her, be like the royal expert on the morning shows in Canada. And she is a royalist through and through. She is a flying monkey. She always has something negative to say about Harry and Meghan. I don't know why they continue with her on these morning shows, but they do. She is like the Canadian version of Angela Levin. And when I say that, I mean that literally. They're both physically and intellectually twins. They are. And this woman, Patricia Treble, she wrote this opinion piece for the Toronto Star saying that Meghan had had a disappointing year and left out all of Meghan's achievements and downplayed the ones that she included. These people are parasites. That's all they are. She wants some kind of recognition. She wants to be a breakthrough hater. And what I mean by that is that she has sit back and seen how lucrative the business of hating on Meghan and Harry has been for a lot of these other White Walkers and all of these flying monkeys and these grifters. And so she wants her part. She wants her cut. And she was just over the moon, and she played her hand. She showed who she was when she posted about this article that the Daily Fail had picked up and was featuring her opinion piece. Yes, this let me know everything I needed to know about this woman. She wants international fame on the backs of Harry and Meghan. She wants to bite off of Harry and Meghan. She has had a mediocre career up there in Canada, and now she thinks she sees her opportunity to go global. But let me tell her a little something about that. When you open that Pandora's box, you have to deal with everything that flies out. And if she didn't know that then, she knows it now. Those comments under that post are brutal. They are. One squatty posted some of the comments, and let me tell you, they are dragging the SHIT out of her. Because when you make your decision that you're going to be a Harry and Meghan hater, well, you are officially running with the big dogs, okay? You are not on the porch anymore, and the big dogs will eat you up. And that's exactly what has happened in the comments of this post that she was just so proud of. I mean, they ate her up. They dog walked her. They stomped the very living SHIT out of her. They called her everything except a child of God in those comments. So I hope she is ready. I hope she has thick skin because she's going to need it. Because when you run with the big dogs, when you are running with the Sussex squad and you want to talk about Harry and Meghan, just get ready to be dog walked on a regular basis because we do not play about the Sussexes. We don't. And when you want to come out here and try to build a career off the backs of this couple who doesn't want to do anything but to be left alone to mind their business, oh yeah, you will be dog walked. And that's exactly what is happening in those comments. And all I want to say to Patricia is good luck. You're gonna need it, sis. And I'm gonna put this up because this squatty is speaking on who's the real flop. Yes, the one who has really been a disappointment. It's as if we live in a upside down world with these flying monkeys, with these white walkers. It's as if they cannot understand that the one that they are speaking on, especially when they are talking about who are flops and who are not, that would be Kitty. That would be Willie. That would be Charles and his horse. But no, 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 no. They cannot tell the truth. So this particular squatter is speaking on that Christmas show and the stark difference of Megan's top 10 Christmas show and Kitty's show that they won't even release the numbers because it was such a flippity flop. This particular squatty says Kate Middleton's flops again with Christmas show. So Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, landed in number 7 on the UK Netflix chart with Love Meghan Holiday Special for Christmas and 8 globally. Yet the royal tabloid media, like the royalists, say it flopped, knowing full well it did not. So with Kate Middleton's Royal Carols together at Christmas show on terrestrial TV, not looking like it even made the top 40, I expect articles deeming this a flop for the third year in a row. Oh wait, they're only supposed to report badly and falsely on the Duchess with black heritage. Where is the lie? Where is it? This woman cannot make the top 10 in her own country, and she is the future queen. But yet and still, somehow Meghan makes the top 10 in the UK. In the UK. And she makes the top 10 globally. When With Love Meghan, the holiday celebration first premiered, it was in the top 10 of over 40 countries. Now, almost a month later, it's still in the top 10 of over 20. But somehow we are to believe that Meghan is really the flop and Kate is really not. These people need to stop. This Tom Thumbhead Sykes in the Royalists is a joke. They make a joke out of themselves at this point. I mean, the gaslighting is not working anymore. It's not. People see through the bullshites. They do. And it is too many sources for information for anyone to believe the lies that these people are telling. But you know, the Sussex Squad, we're going to be on our jobs. We work it like it is a job, and that is telling the truth about what's going on here. They lie, and we absolutely present the receipts, like this particular squatty is doing right here. I love it. And I'm putting this one up, and this is a repost, and the original post says this: Kate's Christmas Carols program was such a flop, the channel refused to release its viewing figures, not sure by order of the big house but apparently people turned off 15 minutes in. Told y'all, bots don't watch TV. No, they don't. And we know they heavily use bots. And that is the reason why these hate channels have been able to flourish. Y'all know, ever since I started this channel, I have said the math just isn't mathing when it comes to these hate channels. They get over 100,000 views on one video. Some of them get like 70, 75. I mean, just obscene numbers. I never believed that. I believe that this is the way they continue to feed these people in order to keep the hate going. Yes, making it profitable so these people will keep it up. And so I always said that Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace, That whole institution over there uses bots, but the one that heavily uses it the most would be Kensington Palace. You know, Willie and Kitty didn't have 17 million followers on Instagram. They can't even get a million likes on a video, but yet and still you got 17 million followers. Stop it. The math just is not adding up. The math is not mathing. I'm just saying. And the squatty that posted this, well, reposted this, said, OMG, the fake piano playing Christmas Carol was such a flop that ITV won't even show its dismal viewing figures. Let me sit down to have a good laugh. Yes, because you know this should have come out already. Now, some squatties are asking AI what would be the ranking of this Christmas Carol concert or whatever they call it. But anyway, what their ranking would be, and it's guessing like 42 or whatnot. But the official numbers have not come out yet. Why? Why? Why hadn't the official numbers come out yet? Now they might be waiting until, you know, this month to put them out, but it's very, very strange to wait that long. I thought TV ratings went from week to week. But yeah, we hadn't saw hide nor hair of the ratings for Kitty Cat's Christmas Carol Together concert. I cannot, y'all. I can't. I can't wait. It must be really, really dismal. And this particular swatty said, flop, Katie, flopped again. Not even in the top 10, but she's so popular in the UK. Laugh my A off. Bots can't watch television, huh? Well, at least Meghan, the Duchess of Success, who lives in the US, made it in the UK Netflix top 10 with her Christmas special. That right there is what you would call a flex. Yes, that right there, that's a flex. I'm telling you. And this right here to me is absolutely chef's kiss and right on point. And it comes by way of Meghan, the Duchess of Advocacy, one of my favorite squatties. And she said this. She said, so it appears Kate Middleton's cosplaying the piano wasn't enough to have her own. And to me, the key in this particular statement by the Duchess of Advocacy is her own fans to tune into the Christmas special. Yes, where was Kate's own fans? You know, they're out here running amok, talking all this reckless talk, all up in our comments, all up in Meghan's business, but yet and still, when the rubber hits the road, and Kate actually has a project out there for them to support, they don't do it. They don't. Yes, where is her fans? All of these fans. Kate is supposed to be the most popular royal that it is in the UK. Where are her fans? Where are they? Every time she does a project, every time she shows up to do an engagement, and they put out the barriers, nobody shows up for Kate. Why? Why? I'll tell you what my thoughts on that is that they are not Kate fans. They are Meghan twisted fans, meaning Meghan haters. Yes, they hate Meghan, but they can't help but watch everything that she does. And can you imagine how twisted in the mind you have to be? How fevered your mind have to be that you pay more attention to the woman that you hate than the one that you profess to love and support. It is crazy to me. Squatties pay no attention to Kate except to laugh and make fun of her mediocrity. And we wouldn't even do that if they would leave Harry and Meghan alone, because we love Harry and Meghan. We love focusing on them. We love supporting them. We have no interest in those left behinds over there, but not Kate's so-called fans. They won't even support her projects. It is hilarious. So Meghan, the Duchess of Advocacy, absolutely takes the prize for this podcast, because that comment right there is everything. It's everything. And speaking of everything, this particular comment is everything as well. This squatty says, I do not believe that the Duchess of Sussex is hated. Cause, as someone said, if you hate watch everything she does, but unable to love watch Kate Middleton's, that means you are undercover fan begging for her attention. Where is the lie? Tell me these squatties are not dropping bars today. Yes, they are dropping the bars. They are absolutely saying everything that needs to be said. And this squatty says the Rangers do not give a F about Kate Middleton. Their only obsession is either Meghan or the fact that we don't use stupid titles while talking about Kate. They don't care about the fact that she's isolated, has no legacy, no real friends, that Scar and the C story. Exactly. More bars being dropped. That's all I'm saying. And I'm going to put this up. And this squatty really makes a great point. They say the Rota made a mistake in pitting Kate against Meghan. Their false Meghan made Kate cry story was a attempt high-tech lynching of a biracial woman, and they never expected anyone to fight their narrative. Now anything they plan for Meghan will boomerang and do 10 times as much damage for that family. Whereas a lot, we have saw this in real time. They have damaged themselves much more than they could ever damage Meghan. The blowback was not anticipated, but it has been devastating to this family. And they lie and lie and lie and try to pretend like they welcome Meghan with open arms. They never welcomed Meghan because they knew who Meghan was going in. Everybody knew who Meghan was going in. What an extraordinary human being she was. Harry had chosen well, and it was war on Meghan from the beginning. And I'm going to put this up, and this was posted back on January 2017. And this is what I mean. They knew exactly who Meghan was from the start. And their plan from the jump was to try to destroy Meghan. If Harry was determined to marry her, once they were married, the plan was to make her the scapegoat to destroy her. And like I said, this was posted in January 2017, and it says, back in London, hashtag Kate Middleton could also find herself overshadowed by Prince Harry's beautiful and charismatic new girlfriend, Meghan Markle. If Harry succeed in marrying Miss Markle, her philanthropic activities could provide Kate with serious competition. See, they knew who Meghan was, but they also knew who Kitty was, which was a very, very mediocre woman who had no legacy, had no drive, and had no intention of making a difference in her role. They always considered Meghan as a threat. They never intended for Meghan to succeed in any form or fashion. They knew exactly how extraordinary Meghan was. Tell me they didn't know who Meghan was. They always pretend like we didn't know who Meghan was. We don't know who Meghan was. She was a nobody. They knew exactly who Meghan was. And they absolutely was building their army of flying monkeys to attack her from the beginning. And look what this particular squatty has posted. This is a post from 10 years ago from the Fail. And this squatty says this: 10 years ago, the Daily Fail reader Molly called it. She said, I feel sorry for Harry's future wife. Adjusting to royal life won't be hard for her. Dealing with Kate and her desperate need to be center of attention will. Wow, Molly. This was 10 years ago. And Molly is out here dropping bars. But I want to read the whole statement from Molly. This particular squatty posted the whole statement, the whole post from Molly. Molly said this: why doesn't Kate have any female friends other than her sister? Well, we know she doesn't even have Pippa anymore, because one of the biggest stories that they refuse to cover over there across the pond is the missing of Pippa. Pippa has gone MIA in Kitty's life. She did not even show up for not one of Kitty's events this year that she usually shows up for. Not Wilmington, not the Christmas Carol, not seeing them together on the streets, kikiing or being friendly towards one another. Ever since Pippa threw that shade about Kitty's performative cancer, Pippa has not been seen or heard from since. So no, she doesn't even have her sister anymore. But Molly goes on and says, women sense when other women are artificial, false, insincere, social climbing, and greedy. Even when Kate is photographed at a social function, such as one of the many weddings she attends, you never see her making girl talk. She never leaves William's side. Kate probably uses these tactics with Charles as well as Harry. I feel sorry for Harry's future wife. Adjusting to royal life won't be hard for her. Dealing with Kate and her desperate need to be the center of attention will. And all I can say, Molly, you absolutely are a seesayer. You are a medium. You are amazing because you got this so right. I don't know where you are, but I hope you are patting yourself on the back, because this right here is nothing but facts and fire. And I also want to read this one. This squatty posted this one from 10 years. No, this one is from 6 years ago. And it comes by way of Ontario, Canada, from Lady Lisa. And this is what Lady Lisa says. Kate is not charismatic in any way. Diana had charisma. Kate has nothing. Meghan will give her a run for her money because she is intelligent, hardworking, and is a real humanitarian who, like Prince Harry, is not afraid to get her hands dirty. I think Meghan will be a wonderful addition to the royal family. Kate obviously doesn't like to work. This was evident before she got married. She convened with her mother's help to follow Prince William to college, university, etc., even the same program that William went through. The press even called her Waity Katie because they knew she was gagging to be his princess and didn't want to have a job or want to work. Prince Harry loves Meghan because she's beautiful, kind, hardworking, intelligent, and a humanitarian. She's been helping children and charities well before she met Harry, which will serve her well if she becomes his wife. Kate should step it up and stop fooling around with her responsibilities. She is discrediting the title she has. And this particular woman absolutely hit every point that needed to be hit. Lady Lisa was out there 6 years ago dropping dimes. I mean, 10 out of 10. And pretty much said in no uncertain words that William married his stalker. Yes, Kitty was his stalker. She was out to get him. And he got. Yes, that's why I call him Future King Dumb as a Rock, because he cannot figure his way out of a wet paper sack. Because if he could, he would have saw right through this honeypot. Yes, the old honeypot, he fell for it. And Kate has done nothing in her role. Lady Lisa laid it out for her 6 years ago. And Kate has done none of that. She took none of the advice that this woman was given. Because at the end of the day, Kate preferred to tear Meghan down, at least try to tear Meghan down, instead of building her own self up. And that right there to me is the trademark of a mean girl and someone who knows that they are mediocre. But Lady Lisa was not playing. She came with all of the facts and she hit the nail right on the head, just like Molly did. They knew Meghan was going to have a hard time because of who Meghan was and who Kate was. And that whole institution. You cannot be a good and genuine person and thrive within that institution because it is filled with nothing but snakes. No one, no person who is a good person can live in harmony with snakes. They just can't. So, yeah, Molly and Lady Lisa was doing nothing 6 years, 10 years back, but dropping the dimes. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I am going to put this up. This is something that the Swatties have been talking about. It's been coming down my timeline. And it is from Peter Hunt. He wrote a story in iPaper and it's talking about how William is in control of the media. The title of the article is William has control of the media. Here's what's being hidden from us. He goes on to say, access is the Prince of Wales trump card, and he is a willy operator. The press must cooperate or risk being frozen out. And all I can say to this is a self-inflicted wound when it comes to those flying monkeys over there. This is of their own doing. Why? Because they were so willing to participate in the smear campaign against Harry and Meghan. They were so short-sighted in seeing how this was only playing into the hands of Willie. And now they want us to feel something because they have created this trap for themselves. I think not, Mr. Frankenstein. No, you created this monster and now you have to live with it. And what is so hilarious to me is that Willie and Kitty are so mediocre. They're so lazy. They're so boring. They are left with the absolute worst couple that you could have. And they are still scared to death to lose access to that. I'm telling you, that is hilarious. Every time I think about it, I throw my head back and cackle. The flying monkeys, they were their own undoing, and I love it for them. Now, the squatty that posted this said this, a must-read article that lays bare the ruthlessness and authoritarian William, who's got the British press firmly under his thumb. The gullible masses are in for a rude awakening when this monster they helped to create finally ascends to the throne. And there you have it. And there you have it. I love this for them. I do. Because, like I said, they were just in the pocket of Willie, just a willing participant in this smear campaign. And now here they are. And I love it for them. I do. And this is a repost, and the original post a portion of this article from Peter Hunt, and it says there is much that has gone unspoken where William is concerned, not at least when it comes to Prince Harry. A silent older brother has relied on sources to brief his side of a cavernous divide. He's been helped by the media, which in large part has cast Harry as the guilty person and portrayed William as the wounded and above approach. The truth, as always, is more nuanced. Well, let me say this. Harry said this on national television when he interviewed with the BBC. Harry has been saying this ever since he left, pretty much in every interview, if you really want to be specific about it. Harry has said when you see someone says palace sources or whatever, that's coming straight from the primary. So, yeah, this is nothing new. And like I said, I feel no kind of sympathy or empathy for the flying monkeys over there because they created this monster. Now they get to live with it. And the squatty that posted this segment said this. He addressed the royalist fiction that the royal family stays silent while the U.S. royals are constantly bashing them. Exactly. But like I said, if you've been paying attention, you know this. And you even know the players of the game. You know who their go-tos are. Like Tom Thumbhead Sykes and Jabbo and flat face Camilla Tominey, and it goes on and on and on. They even have the special journalists or so-called journalists that they go to. So nothing new here. We've known this. And like I said, I feel no sympathy for any of them. And the squatty that reposted this said, Peter Hunt saying the quiet part out loud and one that the rest of us always knew. William is a coward, full stop. Only a coward trashes his brother in the press under the guise of unnamed sources, but then claims he's the bigger man who never defends himself against his brother's accusations. William is a perpetual victim. Where is the lie? But like I said, if you have common sense and you have been paying attention and you have heard just one interview from Harry, you know what the deal is. You know exactly what this is about and who Willie is about. And I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty is posting about the news that has come out that an intruder breaks into William and Kate's Kensington Palace home. Now, some squatties are really not buying it because at the end of the day, these people have lied so much. It's just hard to know what to believe and what not to believe. But this squatty that posted this said this. How predictable. The backlash over their shameless Forest Lodge land grab bills and right on cue, an intruder magically appears to distract the gullible masses. For full dramatic effect, the intruder has a rucksack and goes to the house everyone knows they don't live in. Yeah, it does sound a little sus, doesn't it? Y'all tell me what y'all think. But yeah, they had an intruder. And my thoughts is, did they have this intruder at their Kensington Palace home? Now they stayed there for years and years and years, never had an intruder, but had an intruder after they no longer lived there. Are they trying to say if they lived there, it still would not be safe, and that's a good reason why they moved to Forest Lodge? Do you think that this is the narrative that they're trying to push, that they moved out just in time? Yeah, that it's unsafe in London anymore. So they moved out to the country and now they're safe. They have to have all this security. They have to have all this land. Yeah, it is really sus, isn't it, when you really think about it? The squatties might be on to something. I'm just saying. And I want to put this up because this popped up on my timeline as well, and it's about Cinnabale. And looks like Sophie Shanduka is, well, the fake doctor Sophie Shanduka is out here begging on New Year's Eve. Yeah, she was out begging, asking for $5 for Cinnabale. And of course, if you have been someone who has donated to Cinnabale, I'm sure it showed up in your email as well. But this squatty wrote about it and said, "Not on your life, you robbers." You stole Prince Harry and Prince Cecil's organization to ruin and exploit it to fill the pockets and inflate the egos of fake Dr. Sophie Chanduka. It is time. Yes, and y'all know how I feel about Cinnabale. I still have not given up on Cinnabale. I do not believe Harry and Prince Ciso is going to go down this easy. I think maybe Harry working with his father has a lot to do with him getting his charity back. I really feel that it might play right in the hands of Harry to get his charity back. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I'm going to put this up. This is what Sophie Chanduka posted. It says, as we bid farewell to 2026. Now, this goes to show you right here is, to me, this just absolutely highlights who Sophie Chanduka is. She's such a fake and a fraud and pretend like she is so intelligent, and she doesn't even know what year she's bidding farewell to. But I digress. It says, as we bid farewell to 2026, you shall have a chance to change a child's life by giving a gift that lasts well into the new year. On this final day of the year, a donation of as little as $5 can help Cinnabale continue supporting children and the communities in Lesotho and Botswana, extending care, protection, and opportunity beyond this year. And this particular squatty that posted it said, bid farewell to 2026. It's 2025, you effing moron. I'm telling you, they had to pull that. I mean, it was so many people in there just absolutely eating Sophie up that this is no more. The post is no more because she cannot raise any kind of money without people calling her out. She is a cancer on Cinnabale. And I know that they want her to kill it, but it will never die as long as Prince Harry and Prince Ciso is breathing air and is alive. Harry is going to get Cinnabale back. Prince Ciso is going to get Cinnabale back. That is my prediction for 2026. Let's see how it all unfolds, but I believe it with everything in me. My heart just absolutely aches for those little children. This woman has been nothing but a menace and has caused so much death and pain. Yes, I believe it. That's my prediction for 2026. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I will never ever give up on Cinnabale, and I'll never give up on Harry and Prince Ciso. I really feel that they're going to get Cinnabale back. And I want to switch gears and talk about Thailand's New Year. It says Happy New Year 2026 from Thailand. And I did several screen grabs from this video. And nobody does New Year's like Thailand. Look at this. It is amazing. The fireworks display, the whole thing was just amazing to watch. I was in awe. Look at that. And look at this one. And the elephant looked as if it was walking across the sky. Oh my God, they did this thing right. We don't have anything like this in America. And look at this. Ah, I can't. And look at this. This dragon looked as if it was moving across the sky. Thailand is the number one place I would love to be at New Year's. They are the champion. They are the ones to strive to be like when it comes to putting on a fireworks show for New Year's. And then they had this super, super big heart in the sky. I'm telling you, it was amazing. Also, I want to share this. This is a post from the notorious JTB, and it is just chef's kiss, and it is so true. And it's something that Squatty should just take to heart because he is just feeding us. He is giving us life. He said to the Sussex squad stepping into 2026, thank you for showing up, engaging, fact checking, and protecting the truth. Soft life, high standards, same clarity, same energy. Yes, we're going to absolutely keep our same energy moving into 2026. All right, y'all. I will see y'all a little later. Bye.